Good morning, Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for July 17th, 2015. We're going to start off with Friday morning here and show you the area of high pressure that's going to be sitting over New England. This area of high pressure that has been responsible for a fantastic day here on Thursday is going to be moving on the move here. It's going to move to a position just to the south here. And because it's going to be setting up in this area here in the afternoon, clockwise flow around that area of high pressure will allow the winds to turn southerly, as opposed to yesterday where we were talking about winds out of the north, and that gave us the lower humidity and temperatures right around 80 degrees. A very nice day in many locations across our coverage area here. Still going to be a nice day today, though. No precipitation is expected, but just that wind shift from the south as opposed to the north is going to allow for a slight increase in humidity today from what it was on Thursday. Going a little bit further here, we're going to have a warm front that's going to come through in the overnight hours here. So we're going to have an increase of clouds very late in the day. Call it mostly cloudy overnight with the isolated shower chance here in the overnight hours, and that's going to be along that warm front. And the warm front is associated with this area. Low pressure is moving into southeastern Canada and away from our area here. So your warm front's out here like this. And that's going to bring in the showers here. On the other side of the warm front here, this is going to allow this heat and humidity to really build for the weekend, and I mean really build. So we're looking at Saturday. You're going to see a noticeable difference. Sunday even more so. Sunday I think is going to be your peak heating day, not only for this weekend but the entire week, as some temperatures will reach the mid-90s by the time we get down to the Philadelphia metro. So undoubtedly some heat advisories will go up from the National Weather Service down in that area here if things continue as projected currently. We will have an opportunity for a late day shower or thunderstorm here on Saturday. Not much shown here, very isolated, and that's because there's a lot of mid-level dry air that we're dealing with here. Now there is the opportunity for some of these storms to break through that dry air, and if they do, they're going to be some doozies because we have a lot of instability in the area here, and this is a tremendous amount of instability. Now this is surface based, but this is tremendous. Looking at on our scale here, these numbers here are somewhere in the 3,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram range here. So this is very, very high instability, and that can be expected with that increase in dew points and humidity. Dew points this weekend are going to be over the 70-degree mark in many locations also. So it's going to be very uncomfortable both days of the weekend. But this is insane as far as instability goes, and it gets even higher in some locations as these storms approach here. The NAM high-res future simulated radar does show these storms moving in across mainly our southern areas here now. We'll have to keep an eye on this too, because the NAM's starting to get a little bit more aggressive with these storms. If this does in fact take place here later in the day on Saturday, this is looking at 8 p.m. on Saturday now. So it would be most of the days clear, partly cloudy, and have these late day storms move through. If this is in fact the case, some of these storms could be quite robust and have a severe side to them just because of that instability that's in place. Not a lot of shear involved here, so these more the pulsing type, maybe heavy rain producers and high wind producers is what we'll be looking at for Saturday. Not looking at tornadic activity, but we'll keep an eye on this just in case. But right now it's still listed as a either a isolated or a low chance, scattered chance here on Saturday later in the day for those thunderstorms. And as they move further east, they start to weaken because you're running out of daylight here. This is now 11 p.m., so they start in a much weakened state here at this point as they move through. If in fact they do, there's a very good chance that some of these will not be able to push through the dry air, and you're not left with anything at all but dry and very muggy conditions. So we're going to go a little bit further than that. Go beyond this, and we're going to go into Sunday now. Sunday is a clear day. We're not expecting any precipitation whatsoever. We're not expecting any precipitation in our coverage area whatsoever, but we do, or we are going to allow for just an opportunity for somebody to get an isolated thunderstorm, but very low chances, so not enough to put in the forecast grids. But you can see this entire area is in the clear at this point. The big story here on Sunday will be the temperatures, and we're talking about widespread 90s all the way up to Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, back to Williamsport. I mean, everywhere in point southeast are going to be in the 90s here on Sunday. So we're going to definitely be baking as we get into the weekend, and Sunday looks like is going to be the peak heating day that we're dealing with. So Then we go back into Monday. Even behind this is just a surface trough that's going to be bringing these storms in here on Saturday. Nothing really behind it is going to like a cold front would really cool things off. We're not cooling things off at all, especially here on Monday. Here's a scattered chance of showers and thunderstorms here on Monday, and that moves through sometime in the afternoon or evening. And we still get to close to 90 degrees in many locations here on Monday. Beyond that, we're going to stick right close to the 90-degree mark after that point and stay dry for several days. It looks like through the for much of the work week, and temperatures are going to be hovering right around that 90-degree mark. We're not going to be well into the 90s, but we will be closer to 90 degrees in many locations across our coverage area for much of the foreseeable future, and it looks like it might even go into next weekend. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martich, and that is your outlook for July 17th, 2015. Have a great Friday.